We've had a beautiful big day here in camp, and now it's time for dinner. So I'm gonna show you one of my favorite recipes. It's quick, it's really easy, and it relies specifically on pantry staples to make it happen. This recipe for lemony pasta with greens combines all the sweet flavors that our bodies are craving with noodles, not with candy or chocolate, but with beautiful carbohydrate-rich noodles. We add a little bit of sour lemon, a little bit of saltiness from some tinned mussels that we're storing in the pantry, pungency from some red pepper. We've got astringency from some beautiful greens and some nori seaweed that we're gonna add in at the very last minute, and also some saltiness from the Parmesan and the salt that we'll use to flourish and season everything up. So without further ado, let's make this happen. The first thing that I'm gonna do is saute a little bit of garlic. Again, you can substitute ghee with olive oil or whatever type of cooking fat you prefer, but I just really love the taste of ghee. And it's a nice alternative to butter in this case. I'm gonna make sure that the cooking oil coats the pan all the way around, and I'm gonna leave a nice little dollop in there just to make it taste a little better. To that fat that's melting in the pan, I'm gonna add a few cloves of minced garlic. And I'm going to stir this around so they're gonna brown just a little bit before I add my greens and reduce them. While that's going, I can cook my pasta. And mine's almost done because I started it without you. No offense. Whatever pasta you choose, whether it's pasta shapes or long noodles, just cook it according to the package directions. Save about a cup of the cooking water to use in making your sauce, and then strain the pasta and rinse it. So I'm reserving about a cup of the pasta water to use in the making of the sauce. And then I'm gonna strain the rest of the pasta water and rinse my pasta of its extra starch. So once the garlic starts to become a little bit fragrant, I'm gonna go ahead and drop my spinach in. I don't want this to necessarily brown, and I certainly don't want it to burn. I just want it to be nice and fragrant and to release a little bit of its essential oils. Here I've got a few cups of kind of like torn spinach. You can chop this finely if you like, or you can just tear it with your fingers or snip it with your scissors. This is baby spinach, but you could also use kale or arugula if you really wanted. Any type of kind of hardier green will wilt really nicely here. We're gonna add this to the pot. It might be worth saying that with a pasta shape, it's nice to have a piece of spinach that's about the same size as your shape. So roughly chopped works well for that. In this case, I got a little lazy and I just tore it. It's gonna be great because it's gonna wilt down and swirl in with our noodles. At this point, I'm also going to season the spinach with a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and it won't take but a few moments for this to come down. And by come down, I mean wilt. Already I can see it's happening. And the spinach is jumping out of the bowl for its life. So I don't need this to wilt too much because I'm gonna put hot pasta on top of it and then add a little bit of its cooking water. So there's a lot more heat that's gonna happen here. So once it kind of reduces enough that I can make space for the pasta, I'm gonna go ahead and add it. Another couple things that are gonna go into this bowl, and it's gonna happen pretty fast. I've got some tinned mussels here that I've just emptied into the bowl. These are the same mussels that we've been keeping in the pantry that are so handy for dinners just like this. I'm also gonna grate a little bit of Parmesan cheese, which is gonna make a nice sauce. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon to make the dish lemony, hence the name. And I'm gonna zest a little bit of the zest over it as well. And then I'll snip some nori. If you like, you can also add olive oil to this to continue to make a really beautiful, like rich sauce. We'll see how it goes when we get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my pasta. I won't need to be adding the pasta water, I see. Plenty of pasta water. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my cheese because the cheese is actually gonna make this a nice sauce. I need about a half a cup, but really I just need plenty to make the sauce start to stick. So we were talking about flavors and all 6 of them and how important they are. And this dish, while most people would think that a salad would remind me of health, this dish actually reminds me of a really healthy meal because it incorporates all 6 in a form that's very, very pleasing to our palates. A big bowl of pasta is really comforting. We can go so far to eat healthy foods. The foods that make us feel the best are also really, really good for us. I still see a lot of liquid here in my pan, which means that the sauce hasn't yet formed. So I'm gonna keep cooking until the sauce coats the pasta. At this point, however, I can start to add my nori, which will absorb a little bit. And I'm just gonna use a kitchen shears to trim this really gently, just a small amount, not a lot. I'll add some more when we finish the pasta off. Seaweed, like nori, is a really fabulous ingredient to keep in your kitchen. It's basically a sea vegetable, and it contains all sorts of minerals and nutrients that we can't get from anywhere else. Plus, it's a lovely way to add a salty taste and a little bit of texture too. Okay, so that we can warm up our mussels, I'm gonna go ahead and add them now. You can see there's a nice sauce also on the mussels. It's gonna flavor up our pasta, which allows this dish to be very simple. And we're almost boiling again too. Okay, in these last minutes of my sauce, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of pepper. This is urfa pepper. It's like a lovely smoked pepper. You could use smoked red pepper flakes or just crushed red pepper flakes or any other type of kind of like pungent spice that you like. Oh yeah, there we go. I can see that the sauce is starting to stick to the pasta. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off the heat and allow the steam to just steam off. I don't want to overcook it and get it to sticking to my pan. Now to finish this, I'm gonna go ahead and grate some lemon zest over the top. Oh, the Meyer lemon smells so good. Can you smell the zest? And then I'm gonna squeeze a little lemon juice over the top. Lastly, we're gonna snip a little bit more of this nori. We'll stir it all together. And there we have it, a lemony greens pasta with mussels. Comes together in about 15 minutes, and it's a lovely way to finish your day.